maybe share to your colleagues today's content. It's not a one-time occasion. We would like to spread and use at later time, which is, I think, which will be a really good option for you as well. So that's from my side. As I said, ask, I will be here for you, and also some colleagues will also monitor the chats. And now I will pass the stage to Peter, because he will introduce ourselves, today's content, and really start the expert part for today. So please enjoy. And Peter, let me give you my screen. I will remove the share, and please continue.
Okay, thank you, Mate. Thank you. Let me share my screen. Just a moment. And here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Now it's loading.
Cool.
And we can see it. Perfect.
Great. Let me start the PowerPoint presentation. After working for Microsoft for like 7 years, the PowerPoint presentation is an essential thing which makes secure basically a presentation or a webinar like that. Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So basically, let me just introduce myself shortly. Just a moment. I will step to the. Please give me some more. Cool. Let's start it this way.
Yeah, just the usual technical things.
Yeah. Yeah, when you want to show something to the others, then it doesn't work. That's for sure. Yeah.
Take your time.
Just a moment. Cool. Now, can you see my presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Great. So, basically, good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm Peter Stein. I am the business development manager for Eastern Europe. I'm working for Noventiq. Just started the job on the 2nd of January. So basically, I would say we are a little bit new to this role, to this technology. After spending 6-7 years at Microsoft and then 2 or 3 years at other integrator companies, I think we have some experience on the IT market. But AWS is a kind of new technology for us. But basically, we have a new organization in CE, in Europe, and in Hungary, of course, where we have a very experienced cloud solution architect, Atanas from Bulgaria. He really has experience in AWS and a lot of certificates. So I'm really hoping that we will have the chance to have a technical conversation with you after our webinar. That you will find this event interesting, and it will raise some other questions that we can answer later on in one-on-one technical conversations, and we can have some cooperation later on in the future. Basically, in the local organization, we have two employees, 2 colleagues right now: the cloud solution architect Atanas, who I mentioned, and myself as a business development manager based in Budapest. So basically, I'm Hungarian. My native language is Hungarian, but of course, English is not that far from me. So we can have the conversation on each languages. The good thing that we have a global resource with fantastic engineers who will do the presentation, who will do the big part. Yogesh today. We have Umbrella Infocare in the Noventiq company family. So basically, in case of any kind of AWS question with regards to architecture, infrastructure, cloud migration, application migration, I can really tell you that these guys are very professional and experienced. So in the future, if you have any questions or any requests, I think we can work together with the help of our colleagues from Umbrella Infocare. We will also have for a few words, for a short introduction with us today, Thomas Tóth, our territory manager for Hungary. Thomas will also say a few words, a short introduction. Thomas is representing AWS, the vendor. So basically, I think it's very good to have him here. And what is, I would say, the best thing, hopefully, besides the technical content that we are going to have, what is a very good thing that our Umbrella Infocare colleagues offered the chance for some of the lucky attendants to have an application modernization assessment conversation later on. So basically, we will we will decide some of our kind customers who are represented here to get involved to a free of charge 3 or 4 hour consultation with the key stakeholders, where Umbrella Infocare will provide some good hints, some tips, basically for future plan, for a future migration. We can also do the assessment, and this is free of charge from some of the lucky ones. So basically, I just want to pass the word to Thomas right now to say a few things, and then I think we can start the presentation itself. So Thomas, please,
Thank
if you can.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter. Yeah. So first of all, welcome everyone, and I'm really happy that I can be here. My name is Thomas Tóth. Actually, I'm a territory manager for the SMB market within AWS, so handling all the key accounts and the SMB segment within the Hungarian segment. Just a fun fact about me also, that from my name you can see that it's not a typical Hungarian name. However, I am also a native Hungarian speaker. I was born in Slovakia, in the Hungarian part of Slovakia. So that's about me. And also, again, I would like to thank the invitation for the Noventiq team, and just to mention that who is actually one of our few AWS business partners in the region with actually a migration acceleration program competencies. And I believe we will hear more about, most likely even about this program later on. But just to highlight that this MAP or migration acceleration program actually is a comprehensive and proven cloud migration program that is actually the result of AWS experience migrating hundreds of enterprise customers, and it actually packages the best practices, expertise, tooling, and financial investments as incentives as well to make the cloud adoption easier and allowing you as a customer to gain cloud benefits sooner. So that's in a nutshell from me. If you have any questions or you would like to have some answers from AWS, please feel free to reach out. We are here to assist you and more than happy to answer your questions. So thanks again.
All right. Thank you, Tomas. Thanks again for joining this webinar. And Yogesh, it's your time. The stage is yours. Actually, we see your screen, so everything is perfect. You can start immediately.
Great. Thanks, mate. Thanks for setting up the agenda, and thanks, Peter, right, for the wonderful introduction of Umbrella Infocare and myself, right? So as you are confirmed, right? So everyone, I believe, can see my screen, right? So let's start with it. So as you know that today's topic is the application modernizations. But prior to jump to this topic, please allow me to give a brief about Umbrella Infocare. Right. So Umbrella Infocare was established in March 2013 with the vision of enabling organizations to transform digitally by breaking down complex problems and addressing them with cutting-edge technology. Right. We are the cloud-born organizations and have the premier partnership with AWS. Apart from AWS, we also have the Platinum Plus partnership with Citrix. Currently, we have the team of around 250 experts who have achieved technical certifications, more than 200 technical certifications from AWS as well as Citrix. During this 10-year fabulous journey, we have successfully accomplished 500 cloud projects across 15 industry with 98% CSAT score. If I will talk about our cloud offering, so we have four main offerings. The very first offering is about the cloud migration and the modernization, where we help our customers to adopt the cloud. And once you are in the cloud, then immediate requirement is about to manage the cloud environment. So we have a second offering about the managed services, where we help our customers to manage their cloud environment and ensures that applications run smoothly without any problem. Around 4 years back, we started two more offerings around data and analytics as well as cloud native applications. Apart from these four main offerings, we have offerings around cloud advisory, FinOps, DevOps, as well as cloud security. Generally, these offerings are get built with our four main offerings, but we also started practice to offer them independently to our customers. Okay, so this is about Umbrella Infocare, and as I mentioned that we have a premier partnership with the AWS, right? So let me talk about uh, partnership with the AWS, right? So AWS has a program called Competency, which they use to validate and establish their partner credentials. So based upon our quality and timely delivery and project execution, we got the competency around migration consulting, DevOps, Microsoft workload consulting, data and analytic consulting. Apart from this, we also have the partner with the program like Premier Tier Service, Immersion Days, and the Well Architect Review Program. This is a very special program which help to design and create the solid architecture based upon six pillars. I will say the six essential pillars: security, reliability, sustainability, operational excellence, cost optimization, and the performance efficiency. Apart from this, AWS also had multiple services, right? And they used to validate their partner credentials around these individual services. We have been certified and validated for the services like the Redshift, which is a warehouse service, Amazon API Gateway, and Amazon Lambda, which are the component of the serverless architecture, right? And the Amazon RDS, which is a managed database service offered by AWS. Our task force is also certified by the AWS for the different categories like the specialty, foundations, associate, as well as the practitioner. We have been recognized as AWS Consulting Partner of the Year for the 2019 for India. And only last year, we have been awarded with AWS Data and Analytic Partner of the Year for Asia Pacific and Japan region. So during this 10-year journey, we have served multiple customers across the industries. I would like to take a couple of names like for retail and logistics. We served for the customer Panasonic, which is a global brand name and specialize in appliances for electrical equipment as well as auto industry. They also create equipments for IoT connected solutions and innovative devices. In the area of the media and entertainment, we have the customer like Times Group, right, which publish daily uh, uh, English daily, the Times of India, which is the largest English daily around the world, right. In manufacturing sector, we have the customer like the Dalmia, right, which is an 80-year-old organization in the sector of the cements, refinery, and sugar, etc. In financial service domain, we have the customer like HSBC Canara, right, which is a joint venture of the Hong Kong-based HSBC Bank and Indian Canara Bank in the field of finance and insurance, right? And we also have a customer like Payback, right, which runs multi-brand loyalty program across the world, right? So this is some information about type of the customers we have served during this journey. Okay, so let's jump to the today's topic, which is the application modernization, right, with AWS. So the first question which comes into the mind about the modernization is what is application modernization, right? So application modernization is a buzzword nowadays, isn't it? But this term, application modernization, evokes a wide variety of definitions, right? Modernization is not just about the migration of infrastructure from on premise to the cloud environment. Yes, this is the first one step, and obviously the first step of the modernization. But modernization is a journey having multiple stages, like upgrading the application in underlying application infrastructure, to migrate legacy applications to newer technology platforms like containers, to automate the complete code release pipelines, to re-architect your existing monolith applications to the modern microservice-based architecture-based applications, to use purpose-built database like NoSQL graph database, document database, or say the time stream database for as per the requirement, rather than using traditional relational database for all purposes. It also helps to unlock licensing and avoid license cost for the commercial softwares like Windows, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL Server. So, whenever we interact with our customers and talk about the modernization, right, a lot of questions we hear from them, right, like why should I modernize, right? What should be the approach for the modernization? How can I lower my total cost of ownership, right? Or how can I reduce my dependency on the licensing, correct? I believe you would have few of these questions, and I will try to cover them in my coming slides. So, as I mentioned, the first question is why to do the modernization, or what are the key drivers of modernization, right? So, as you know, applications are the foundations that enable organizations to run their day-to-day businesses. Because of digital transformation, IT decision makers are expecting that their application portfolio will increase by more than 50% in next 2 years. Why? As businesses needs new applications to support new user experiences and services. Right? As IT organization face increased pressure to do more with less. This is very critical thing, right? And that's the reason that they are saddled with the growing burden of maintaining their legacy infrastructure and application. Right? Faced with these pressures, right, to of increasing cost, right, agility to scale, skills development, operational excellence, removing the licensing cost. Definitely, application modernization can help here. According to the Flexra 2021 State of Cloud report, 91% of enterprises are expecting that cloud will exceed their prior plan. Right? In contrast, only 9.1% of global IT spend was in the cloud in 2020. Right? So that is a gap which need to be filled in coming years, and we have a good opportunity for the application modernization. So now how to do the modernization and what should be the approach, right? So we generally recommend three-phase journey for application modernization: assess, mobilize, and modernize. So assess phase is the beginning of the modernization journey, and this phase sets the foundation for a well-planned and modernized project execution, right? During this assess phase, we help in identifying the business and technical drivers for the modernization. We also help in discovering the applications for modernization, evaluate overall organizational readiness for modernization, as well as we help in preparing the business case. From assess phase, we progress towards the mobilize phase. Right? Mobilize phase is very important phase. It prepares organizations to build capabilities to operate modernized solution in cloud. Right? In mobilize phase, our focus always remains on preparing the landing zones, architecture design, cloud skills, organizational readiness, strong project plan, and compulsive business case for the modernizations. Once you complete the mobilize phase, you can move to the modernize phase. And in modernize phase, you can do modernized work rapidly and efficiently, as mobilize phase prepare the foundation to do the modernization work. Each successive completed modernization established a full-scale cloud operating model. Right? And then what happened in the modernization phase, you treat individual application differently, right? As you can see in the extreme right of the slide that there are 7 options to modernize the application, right? So take an example, the application which is not required at all in the future, right, can be retired, while the application which can be used as is or there is no business advantage to modernize it can be retained, right? The rehost or relocate, right? This comes into the picture when application can be hosted on cloud virtual machine. Replatform comes into the picture when we move applications from the cloud hosted machines to more automated and managed platform like containers. There may be few applications, right, which can be replaced with SaaS-based application or COTS application. In this scenario, repurchase mechanism comes into the picture. And the final uh, thing is the refactoring, right? Refactoring is applicable for those applications where, say, you have any existing monolith application and you want to modernize it using the modern architecture like the microservice-based architecture. So this is the three-phase approach we generally recommend for the modernization. Okay, so I provided the brief of the approach. Now let's take a deeper dive into a modernization example, right? Using a Windows application, which is an on-premise Windows application, right? So whenever, right, customer wish to modernize their existing Windows application or database, right, we recommend 3 main transformation which can take place, right? obviously the first transformation is moving the infrastructure from on-premise to the cloud or environment, which generally referred as lift and shift or sometimes rehosting, right? What happened in this case? In this case, infrastructure get moved from on-premise to the cloud environment on the cloud virtual machines. There is no requirement to make any kind of the change in the source code, but here customer need to manage instance configurations as well as other activities related to the instance. Once you are in the cloud, the next transformation can be around replatforming the applications. And what is the replatforming the application? Here you moved your application and databases from the virtual machines to more automated and managed platform. Right? In terms of the application, right, in respect of the application, it is moving application from the virtual machines to the containers, right? And what is the advantage of containerizing? That containerizing application helps you to build, maintain, as well as deploy application faster and also increase the portability of the applications. AWS provides a tool specifically for this named as App2 Container. It helps automate the process of the containerizing legacy applications. Similarly, on the database side, you can move your database from the cloud virtual machines to managed database services. Advantage of doing this, that you do not need to do regular activity like backups, patching, monitoring, etc. And ultimate advantage that your resource get free, right, to do more value added activities. Now, third area of the transformation, right, is to move from the commercial software licensing to the open source option, right? As you know, many traditional commercial software vendors like Oracle and Microsoft have built their businesses around license agreement. And the objective of the license agreement was to locking in customer and using punitive licensing terms to force them to upgrade and migration, right? It generally seen that commercial software license fees typically at 20 to 50% of cost on top of the equivalent open source solutions. So refactoring your applications and database to take advantage of open source options can help lower cost, improve performance, and gain access to the latest innovation, because now you are not locked in with the license providing vendors. Now, since we have the three area of the transformation, can we done all? Can we do need to perform all these transformation simultaneously, or can we perform them individually? So, answer is yes. These three areas of transformation can be done progressively in stages, as well as all at once, but it depends upon the application requirement and overall readiness to the modernization. Okay, so now there is a time for the first poll, right? Okay, I'm moving ahead. Yeah, you can see question of the poll on my screen and can respond using the poll options as made mention, right? I will wait for your answers. I think we are getting the responses. Should I move ahead? Right, we can announce the result later on.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Thanks.
can go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we discussed about the modernization, right? And we discussed uh, in detail, taking an example, right? Now you know, right? You have multiple options for the modernization, right? I generally refer these options as the modernization pathway or the actions you can take to transform your existing application and database, right? Generally, modernization helps on three layers: application, database, and infrastructure. Right? So you can choose your option how to perform modernization activity. So from application perspective, right? So if you have any on-premise Windows application, you can move it from on-premise to the managed Windows VMs, right? And then from Windows VMs, you can move it to the Windows containers, right? And then in next step, your .NET application can be rewrite using the .NET core to take advantage of getting rid of Windows licensing, right? And then you can host it using the Linux containers. If you go further, you can re-modernize, re-architect your monolith application using the microservice-based architecture, and the advantage of it, right, that you can host it in the serverless architecture way. Right? Similarly, at database end, you can move your on-premise database to the Amazon EC2 machine, which is virtual machine, or say the Linux-based virtual machine, which provided additional advantage of removing the Windows licensing cost. In the next step, you can move your database from the virtual machine to the managed services like Amazon RDS, where you do not need to worry about to perform day-to-day activity like backup, patching, and monitoring. If you have multiple databases, then you can create the lakehouse, or even you can further use the Amazon Aurora, another service for managing the database. Generally, as I mentioned earlier also, traditional applications have the one database, which is the relational database. But when you modernize, right, you can pick and choose purpose-built database as per the requirement, like NoSQL, graph database, or the document database. Similarly, at infrastructure level, if you have that Microsoft Active Directory, which is on-premise, you can move it to the AWS managed Microsoft Active Directory. For file system, you can use FSX. You can manage your licenses using the AWS License Manager, and some applications which can be replaced using SaaS applications or COTS application also comes into the infrastructure modernization category. So this is all about the modernization, right? What are the modernization, why we should do, what should be the approach, and I provided a detailed example also, right? Now let's talk about what kind of the modernization offering we have with Umbrella Infocare, right? So with Umbrella Infocares, we have divided our modernization offerings basically in four categories: infrastructure modernization, application modernization, database modernization, as well as the data and analytic modernization. Under infrastructure modernization category, we have two core categories. The very first is the migration and the deployment, where we help our customer to migrate from on-premise to the cloud environment. We also help or also have the expertise in SAP migration. We also help customer in end user computing migration using AWS service like Workspace or Citrix VDI. We also help in setting up the disaster recovery, right, DR setup, correct, using the AWS environment. Under cloud security offering, we help and we provide security posture assessment, where we assess the complete cloud environment and share a report having vulnerability and the recommendations to overcome them. Apart from this, we also help in security deployment and provide managed services around security. Under application modernization category, we have offering like migration from the .NET framework to .NET Core, which helps to get advantage of the Linux operating system and reduce Windows licensing cost. We also helps our customers for operating system transformation, where we have to migrate application from Windows to Linux with minimal code level changes. Containerization is one of the critical offering which we have, right, to host existing app using container without refactoring the code base. And we also have an offering where we break up monolith legacy application into microservice event-based architecture. Under database modernization category, we have three core offerings, right? Very first is the migration from on-premise or some other cloud environment like Azure to the AWS cloud environment. Second one is the migration from the commercials to the open source database, like from Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle to the MySQL and PostgreSQL. And migration from the traditional relational database management system to the purpose-built database, like NoSQL, Amazon DynamoDB, or GraphDB, right, or the time stream DB. If I will talk about our data and analytic modernization, so here we have three core offerings, right? We have to set up data lake, which makes easier to process data and transform it for real-time analytic. Very popular and important offering. Another offering which we have, right, migration from Hadoop to Amazon EMR. It helps to reduce cost and also enables auto scaling with high availability. And third and last offering in this category, the modernization on Amazon Redshift, which enables auto scaling of data storage and improve performance. So this is all about our modernization offering, which we provide to our customers, right? Now, this is the time for our second poll, right? What type of the modernization are you looking for? You can submit your response. I will wait for 30 seconds and then we will continue. Okay, let's move further, right? Okay, so let's talk about some of our case study, the kind of projects which we did for our customers, right? So, okay, so the very first case study is for our customer named IFCO Bazaar, right? IFCO Bazaar is one of the leading organization in the agriculture sector. They used to sell products like fertilizers, insecticide, and pesticide, etc. They have a legacy application which was built using the Magento. We modernize this application, right, using the distributed architecture, and we take advantage of the headless Magento approach for implementation of this architecture. Apart from this, we also seamlessly integrated the payment gateway. The advantage of seamless integration was that customer can make the payment without redirecting to the payment gateway site. We moved their database from the self-managed model to the managed database service, RDS, right? So these are the few activities which we did from the modernization perspective for this particular customer. This is very important case study, right? The Panasonic is a global brand, a Japan-based organization, and it's popularly worldwide, right? We started our engagement with Panasonic around 4 years back and migrated their first application at that point of time. They were very particular, right, about security, right? So we helped them in creating the security network, and we also help them to define the process for managing their cloud environment, and from that point of the time we are also providing managed services to them, right? During last couple of years we have successfully migrated more than 400 VMs from on-premise to the cloud environment. Apart from this, we help in establishing or creating the complete code release pipelines using the CI/CD. You can say the DevOps automation we did, right? And we also did some re-platforming work of load balancers and the database. Another case study is about a customer named Dr. Lal Path Lab. It is one of the top pathology lab in India, and they have very wide network across the country and offers more than 5,000 diagnostics related healthcare tests, right? What we did for them from the modernization perspective, right? First, we developed a new application for them using microservice based architecture, and we also implemented PWA methodology here, so user can experience, say, can have same experience when he access the web application on mobile browser, right? Another thing what we did, there was an legacy application which was built using the .NET, so we refactored that application using .NET Core. uh, and the advantage of that was that that application was hosted on the Linux operating system, so they get rid of the Windows licensing cost. Okay, I believe this is the last case study which I have for you now, right? So this is for our customer named Dalmia, right? Dalmia is a very big organization in the area of the manufacturing, right? They they used to manufacture cements, sugars, and they have a network of the refineries also, right? So what we did from the modernization perspective, we set up a complete data lake on S3, and data warehouse setup was done on Redshift, right? uh, right, earlier, right, they were extracting the data for insights in more than 24 hours, but once we set up the things, right, they are getting insight from the huge database, right, from in 30 minutes only, right? So that is the biggest benefit of this modernization for this particular customer, right? Apart from this, we used AWS Glue along with the PySpark and JDBC, and all this, right? So this is about the last case study which I have right now, right? Okay, so as I mentioned that we have started with multiple customers, so we received one testimonial from one of our esteemed customer. This is in the form of the video, right? So I will take your permissions to run this video for a couple of minutes, right? Okay, I believe you can hear the sound.
Yeah. That's fine.
Great.
My name is Dr. Rahul Sehwal, and I'm the founder and director of UIPL Limited, which is a health technology company based in the UK, and we provide state-of-the-art, evidence-based healthcare to people with long-term pain conditions like back pain, neck pain, and headaches. It's very much relied on the computer-friendly technology because we use it to gather the right data that helps healthcare professionals and patients make the right decisions and choices about their treatment. It helps patients make sense of their treatment us to have a cloud-based solution which is scalable, reliable, as well as very secure and relatively easy to set up, maintain, and run, and is cost-effective. We were already on AWS in Kentucky, Umbrella, and what they helped us was to revamp our technology infrastructure. Let us know what our requirements are, and also deliver it in innovative and efficient manner, and help us maintain that infrastructure. Our application modernization journey in Umbrella Infocare has been fantastic, to say the least. In terms of what they provided, it matched and actually exceeded a lot of companies that were providing a similar service for AWS infrastructure, either looking or in other parts of India. And Umbrella Infocare understood our requirements very well. It liaised with us in a timely manner, and it delivered the project and our requirements absolutely on time and on budget, and have very good at providing us with assistance over the last 2 to 3 years as it's been delivered. Our future plans involve using the Panasonic capacity that AWS infrastructure gives us, along with the automation and artificial intelligence tools to further improve our processes and the science and research that we can do at applications. And we are really very fortunate to have Umbrella Infocare as our partner to deliver our product.
So that's all from my side, right? The house is open for questions and answers, right?
Yes. Thank you, Yogesh, for this very complex presentation. I think the topic is really not to understand during this short webinar, not easy to understand. So, but anyone, if you have any questions, please put it into the questions tab, or just put it into the chat, which is more comfortable for you. And actually, regarding the polls, I would just pick up the most answers for the first one, that how would like to migrate and modernize the rehost and refactor wins, let's say, with 4 answers. Both, let's say, solution types is really interested by our attendees. And for the next and the second poll, what type of modernization are you looking for? Application and data and analytics modernization won. So actually, this is the real interest from today's attendees, which is, I'm guessing this is not a surprise during these days. So, but back to the questions. Of course, we are here for you to answer. But anyway, if you would like to reach us out because you have to, let's say, think about the topic, think about the issues, the current issues, and maybe the possible solutions for the issues, after this introduction of Umbrella Infocare experiments and expertise, reach us out at Eastern Europe at Noventiq.com email address. I will put it into the chat window as well, so maybe it's easier to write it down, remember it, copy it, and use it for further communication. Or if you still have a direct contact with us, with Noventiq Central Eastern European team, please reach your AM or salesperson, and let's start the conversation, because this is a really important topic, and maybe we can deliver you the best answers and also the best solutions for the near futures. So I think that's all for today. Don't forget the free assessment offer, what Peter mentioned at the beginning of the webinar. So after this webinar, we will pick the lucky ones who was really interactive and answered to the polls. And maybe just let's check your email boxes, because we will reach us out to you, and you will see that how we can move forward. And the last important thing, that of course we have recorded this webinar. So right after it, after a couple of, let's say, minutes, or maybe 30 minutes, and the on-demand version will be available for you, and you will get an email about the availability of the video, so you can rewatch at any time or share with your colleagues at any time for, let's say, for further discussion, or maybe when you would like to jump back and check the each part of this presentation. So guys, thank you again, and thank you all for our attendees, and I hope we will see each other really soon to continue this topic. So see you soon and have a nice day. Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, Tom. And thank you, Peter, as well.
Thank you also.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.